Alrighty. So, thank you, my beautiful sis. So we are now in call number call number 11.
My
Refer to my pages there. And of the Living Beyond a Distraction, a book club. Thank you guys all for joining us on, yes, exactly, the book. And we are joined today by the amazing Greg Bryers, who is originally a Kiwi, just like this one, yay. And neither of us live in our home country anymore. How does it get any better than that? I love it. So just to get all the formalities out the way, so most of you guys know that we will be using the clearing statement during the call today, which is right and wrong, good and bad, hot and pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. If you want to know some more about that, please head on over to theclearingstatement.com. And today we are heading into our second dive of life, living, death, and reality. And I was so chuffed when Greg jumped at this particular chapter, because I know from my little interactions with Greg over the years that he actually has quite a bit to say about this particular chapter. He's gone from being, a very fit, virile man to having multiple strokes and not being able to walk at all, to having complete recovery and so much more. And yes, exactly. And it was around, I'm going to let him talk more about that, but he was just telling us how just recently he's had like a little heart funkiness going on. But you know what? He just chose beyond it again.
Yeah.
And that is just so awesome. And his story of, how Greg actually connected up with Gary Douglas, and because Gary just happened to just know that Greg is a little bit magic with his hands, and created some wonderful change for Gary Douglas while he was on the road with his back and with massages and stuff. And that just catapulted Greg into a whole different reality. And I'm just so pleased to have you with us, Greg. Thank you so much. I will let you talk now.
Hey, really, thanks for the invite, you guys. Cyrus and is it Cyrus or Cyrus? Cyrus. And yeah, and Lorraine, and it's cool to see you, Henry. We keep rubbing shoulders and bumping into each other all around the planet now. This is really cool. And Michelle is another one that's been a guiding light for me, just to push my ass and get it out of a chair and move along. But it's really cool. I love the tools of access, and using them, it changed my life, but it gave me an understanding of all the shit that I already knew. I just had nowhere to connect the dots. And energy work, it's like, cool, this is what I do. I don't know what I'm doing, but this is what I've got to do in this body. And one day I was working on Gary, and Gary looked at me and says, "You're doing the MTVSS." I said, "Fuck, is that what that's called?" Cool. And he looked at me, shook his head, and put his head back down to the massage towel instead of say, "Idiot." And it was like, cool, that's what the stuff's all about. And learning so much over the last years with studying with Access, and just, I don't just study with Access. I'm learning, I'm facilitating classes, and every class I go to, I come away with a new understanding of something that, I've already taught so many times, but there's still something new that comes up. And it's like the book, The Living Beyond Distraction. I've got it over here, that's why I keep looking. And, I read it I've read the chapter about 3 times now, and it's like, oh wow, oh wow, oh, I forgot about that. Oh wow, and it's like I'm reading a whole new book. And it's not that my memory is that bad. It's just that I get to see something more each time I read it. And I find that the same with when I'm doing foundation classes. Every time I go to a foundation class, every time I go to a class with Gary, every time I do a class like that, there's something else I come away with, even though they're talking the same shit every time. And I call it the shit, so I don't make it significant, okay? So it's not that it's actually shit. So I'm probably more irreverent than both of them put together. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So this has been a really, really cool chapter to read. I had my own experiences around death, and I had my own understandings around death. And I can tell you about that and talk all night, but you really don't want to hear it. But if you have a question, please put your hand up or unmute yourself and say, hey, Greg, I've got a question. Yeah, good question. If you could get anything out of this, what would it be? Please, just have a ponder. What is it you want? Okay? Because otherwise I'll just talk shit all night. Anyway, it's the Gary asked the question about reality. What is reality? Now we've got 16 people on the call at the moment, live, and there's probably going to be a lot of other people listening to the recording. And every one of you will have a different definition and description of your reality. So is this reality really real, or is it just what we create in our minds and then allow that to mesh with everybody else's realities, and we pretend that it's all one reality? So just everything that just brought up in somebody's universe, can you now destroy and uncreate all that shit, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, puck and pod, all nine, bush, or spiots. Now I have to warn you, when I get excited, I become unintelligible, and even the Kiwis struggle to understand me. So if that happens, can somebody say, Greg, slow down? Because otherwise I'll talk really, really fast and blah, 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 blah. Right. So Gary asks this I really like. How many of you believe that there has to be balance on the planet? And we're all shown, we all see the yin and yang symbol, and we're all taught that, we have to find balance in life and do 700 ohms a week and blah, blah, blah. Is that really true and real? Well, I'm here to tell you that's bullshit. Okay? There is no balance because our Earth is bigger now than she was 600,000 years ago. She's growing. To do that, there has to be a destruction, there has to be creation, not necessarily in a balance. Balance is when we have to do this, and then we have to do that, and then we might come in the middle for a little while, but then we're back to destruction, or we may come over to a bit of creation. And the definition of destruction and creation. We look at a volcano erupting and go, oh my God, look at the destruction. I'm a volcanologist. I spent 8 years at Waikato University in New Zealand studying volcanoes, soils, rocks, minerals, and everything else that most people consider really boring because they don't talk back to you. But they do. Okay.
And Greg, you know what? All my life, as I was growing up, you know that you do different energy modalities, but as a mom, I always try to find some balance. You have to find some balance between work and home and your kids.
Yeah.
And there was so much judgment. So much judgment all the time. So to
Yeah,
have access bars and the tools is like when I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, I kind of know it because I'm working with access and dealing with it. But it
yeah,
was like an aha moment of how much judgment
yeah,
for so many years. And that I was instilling into my kids as well.
yep, absolute.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we what is balance?
A pile of poop now.
It really is. I mean, we see these guys walking a tightrope and they've got the pole and they move it like this. So the balance is that they're able to stay upright, but they have to move from left to right that pole to keep that balance. So
Mhm.
we have to go from destruction to creation to keep a balance of what?
Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
No, no. What we're looking at, and this is what Gary talks about, is that their balance is actually motion. It's actually movement. The moment you stand still, you're going to fall over. And the
Mm-hmm.
earth is the same. There has to be this motion and movement in everything. Even the atoms move. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the electrons, they spin around the nucleus.
They
Did
had to.
you know that they wink out of existence and then come back into existence and then wink out and disappear and come back? They're not just here in this reality, but they disappear and come back. So there's this constant movement and dance. And the moment we try to create order and keep it static so that nothing changes, what are we creating? We're creating death. Death is another lie.
Mm-hmm.
And the death of this reality is such a lie. It's the way that we are controlled. What's the worst thing that people could do to you in this reality? Kill you. And because we fear death, oh my God, we can't do that because they might kill us. Are you an infinite being?
Yes, I am.
Cool. It's the first time in a long time I heard somebody answer like that. There you go. I think so. Okay. Well, my reality is I know. I don't think. I know I'm an infinite being. I've been out of this body too many times now to know otherwise. And because of that, I've managed to lose all fear. There's nothing in this planet and in this reality I fear. And because of that, I'm kind of uncontrollable.
Well, that's the other part. It's funny you bring that up, Greg, because there's this brings up what I was reading in the Gentleman's Club recently about, like, a lot of us are refusing to ask for more and be more because we want to be stoppable.
Yeah.
As soon as we are willing to be unstoppable and uncontrollable, I mean, then it's a whole different game. It's a whole different world, a whole different universe. So
Yep.
what would it take for us to be willing to be unstoppable and uncontrollable?
Well, there was a good friend of mine once said choice.
Oh, that again?
Yeah. Yep. I actually I had a people in one of our classes say, if you say choice one more time, I'm going to come up there and slap you. So I didn't. I just said, you know. But it is. It really is. It's all of this stuff. And this whole book, it talks about that. It's a choice. We can choose to be angry. We can choose to distract ourselves from what it is we really know by being angry. Whether that we know it's a lie that's being told to us or that we are feeling really impotent. So we get angry. The reality is we have to start looking at that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I still fuck up here and I still get grumpy and I still throw the toys out of the cot and I still stamp my feet on the ground like Rumpelstiltskin. But I now catch myself sooner and I go, oh, sorry. What was that? And then I spend a week looking at that shit and going, okay, that's not happening to me again. You know, and but again, people ask me, how did I get out of my wheelchair? And I go back to say, so how the fuck did I get in my wheelchair? And then I tell them, I got on there because I chose to die, because life was too hard, and I'd rather die than try and create change, because I didn't know I was allowed to change something. Okay? So then once I realized that I was allowed to choose something, I started choosing for me. I changed my mind and got myself out of the wheelchair. I got myself running again. I got myself, there's nothing I can't do because I changed my mind. And if I find there's something I can't do, why not? Okay, what's that? Okay. And I change it and I create something more. Again, it's about choosing. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful that I woke up, because it wasn't that long ago I didn't know if I would. So every morning I would celebrate. If the nurse came in to check me in the hospital, before my eyes were open, I'd smile and go, wow, I'm awake. Cool. And they couldn't understand how I could be so happy. And one nurse said to me, Greg, how do you do this? Before your eyes open, you're smiling. And because I couldn't speak, I wrote down, I woke up. How many of you are grateful for the simple things and then acknowledge the miracles that those simple things are, and then acknowledge that this reality would make you wrong, but because we live outside that reality at many levels of our lives look miraculous to everybody else. And when you start to see that your lives are more miraculous than the idiots around you, then you can start to create more, because you start to see that you are miraculous and your reality totally changes. And then what's really cool, I'm sorry, I'm sitting on a soapbox here going rah, rah, rah. But this is what this book's really trying to tell us. It's just shouting at us. Please, don't preach it, be it. And then what happens is people go, are you different? What is that? And they'll either come and ask you more and want to be with you more so that they can learn to be you or like you, or they run away. You don't have to push people away, because they take themselves off. And the ones that are really searching and wanting to know more, they start coming. A little while ago, I had a class up in Hamburg, and I was going up there for 4 people, because I asked the question, what would it create if I cancelled the class? And it wasn't going to create anything. And then I asked, what would it create if I went up anyway? And it was, my whole universe just expanded and blew up. I went, wow, I want that. So I went up. When I got there were 9 people in the class. Not a huge class, but considering what I was creating in New Zealand, yeah, it's a big class. And it was joyful, and we had 3 days of fun and laughter and tears and change. And then some of those people came to other classes, and they brought other people. I mean, we went to a class, I can't remember now. There's been so many. And this lady says, oh, so-and-so from Hamburg told me about your class. She said, I've got to get masked in. Now, she flew 5 hours to come to the class. I had a lady drive 8 hours for a 1-hour private session with me to get back in the car afterwards and drive the 8 hours home. Because everyone said, there's something about him, we're not sure what it is, but we think he might be able to help you because he's different.
Yeah, but you're the only one that's different, and that's a miracle here, Greg. You know that, right?
No, I know different.
I'm just voicing some thoughts and emotions that I'm picking up on. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think everyone on this book club, and all the 400 people or so that are on this book club are amazing and miracles walking.
Yeah.
What would it take for us to acknowledge that all the time?
Please, everywhere that you're unwilling to acknowledge the difference that you are, the creation that you are, the specialness that you are, and the infinite being that you truly be, can you now destroy and create all that shit, get rid of it out of your thoughts, change your mind, and acknowledge who the fuck you are, please. Everything that is, times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, puck and pod, all nine, boys, shorts, beyonds. Really, I mean, if I could say it more forcefully, I'd come down there shouted at you, all of you.
Thank you so much, Greg.
We allow ourselves to be distracted by our fear, by our anger, by our own thoughts about our reality. I love this section on the reality. I live so far outside the reality of anybody else I know in New Zealand that most of them cut me off from Facebook because I'm not real. I'm too happy.
We've been accused of that, right, Laureen?
Multiple times lately, and it's been so much fun, and I'm just like going, yes!
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's really fun creating beyond this reality.
Yeah. And my children have watched me, they weren't really happy about me traveling around doing classes and working on bodies because I should be back in New Zealand with them and my grandchildren. I have 7 grandchildren. But they've seen the changes that have happened in me. And then when I've gone back there, because I'm so different, and they've been able to just be in that space with me, and then they watch their kids change around me, and then what's happening now is their reality is changing because they're creating far beyond anything I could have possibly created at their age and at their stage in life. They're so far ahead of me. I absolutely celebrate where they're going to be when they are in their 50s. And I so celebrate where my grandchildren are going to be when they're in their 20s. They're going to be just phenomenal people. Because they saw one fat old man choose. And he chose every morning when he woke up that he was going to have a phenomenal life, that he was going to wake up, that he was going to start to thrive. And he was going to change his reality. That's what this book is shouting at us. The reality is not real. We can actually choose and create. All my life, I've only ever had enough money in my pocket for that immediate moment. And in the bank, it was an overdraft. Then one day I said to the universe, okay, this stops or I'm off the planet. And I chose, and I really chose, that from this moment on, my reality around money, around living, and around thriving changes. And you know what happened? It changed. It totally changed. One day I complained to Gabi. I says, Gabi, I can't fold my wallet. What's wrong? She said, well, how much money have you got in there? I said, I don't know. I just put the money in when people pay me. There was 4,000 euros in there. I was like, oh my God. I've got money. And I cried. And I put it in the bank before I lost it.
I'll have some of that.
Yes.
I'll have that my way.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can, it's you. I didn't say, universe, give me money. I just says, This has to stop. I want joy. I want ease. I want gratitude. I want more of that in my life. And I want to change my reality so that I can feel more gratitude and more joy. And the universe says, well, what brings you joy? And it's, I don't know, try me. And I love what it's trying. You know? And that's just, we see so many people say, oh, well, I want $100,000 in my bank. And so they focus on that they don't have that $100,000 in their bank. And the universe goes, oh, okay. And so they don't have the joy. But if they were to create the joy of having that money in their bank and actually feel that joy, and then the universe feel that joy of feeling that and how you'd feel. And the universe then goes, oh, I wonder if we can make that more. And the whole world expands. Your reality totally changes. You know, it's these classes have changed so many people's realities. This book has changed so many people's realities. The tools of access have changed so many people's realities, but only because they chose it. You can pot and pock till you're blue in the face and your ass is dragging on the ground because your legs are tired. But if you don't actually choose it, nothing happens. Nothing changes. And then you go, it doesn't work, and you walk away. But it's not true. They work. But you've got to do the work. You've got to choose it.
Yeah,
Every
you've got to
day.
choose it. You've got to be pragmatic. You've got to just have that horrible C word in your life.
Which
And I'm
one?
talking about commitment.
Oh, okay. No, because that puts you in the grave.
Their commitment to yourself. You know,
Yeah,
it's not to anybody else. It's to yourself to actually choose. To go, you know what? Yeah, I am freaking weird. I am different from everybody else. And you know what? Nobody does get me, and that's actually totally okay.
Yeah.
You know,
But how many of us? Yeah. How many of us see that nobody gets us, and then we make ourselves wrong for it?
So wrong. Yeah. The freedom for me around that was, you know, obviously I was super weird from my family. They did not get me. Blah, blah, blah. Totally made me wrong because I didn't fit in their little tiny, teeny parameters of what they were willing to look at and accept and have allowance for. They didn't. But then it's like the freedom came when I went, hang on, they weren't taught the tools of allowance.
Huh.
If
Just
they were
judgment.
taught tools of allowance, perhaps, just maybe, they might have actually seen the gift that is me. And that would have created ease for them.
Yeah.
But they weren't taught that, and it's okay.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
It's actually okay.
And most of them don't want it, and that's okay too. Yeah. I've got a. Yeah, I won't even go there. But something I've gone through and I've highlighted a few things, and one of them is Gary says, as soon as you get that you're looking at the wrongness, if you will ask what change is available here that I haven't anticipated, and then take care of that, a different possibility occurs. Which is another way of saying is, what's right about this I'm not getting?
I used to get told by my family that I care too much.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting told that I'm too happy.
Yeah. And I'm absolutely.
Like, that's awesome. I'm on the right path. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
you for the adjustment. I mean, my sisters don't even comment anymore. They just when Gabe and I went to New Zealand, we drove past both of them. It's just, I'm not stopping. Why not? They're your sisters. I'm not stopping. Bye. I was suffering because I've decided a long time ago I'm not putting myself in a space where people can throw judgment at me and I've got to sit there and put up with it. It's like, no, I don't need that in my reality. I choose to have people that are joyful, grateful, happy, looking for more, and they actually wanted to lift me up and help me to choose more. And it's like, wow, it's so changes everything around you.
Absolutely.
I wonder what it would be like if all of us on this call and that are going to listen to this call later would acknowledge how many of us do that for other people.
Yeah.
Like where we're willing, we're that joy, we're that source of joy, we're that invitation, we're the ones that are lifting everyone else up. And then we'd be willing to do that for ourselves and commit, like what Laureen was saying, commit to our lives and commit for us to choose that joy and that happiness and to lift ourselves up and keep lifting ourselves up, even if there is no one else there to lift you up.
Yeah.
Like,
So everywhere that you've been unwilling to choose joy, or would like to now, can only create and destroy everything that prevents you from being joyful, choosing joyful, and living a life of gratitude. Everything that is times a gazillion, just fucking destroying that gratitude. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, wrong, good, bad, bug and fight, all nine boys, shorts, to be honest.
it's the fucking, like it really is. Like I was already going to say yes. And even when you add the fucking please, I was like, okay, fucking please, yes.
Yep.
Fucking yes.
It was the best word when I was learning to walk again, and when I was learning to talk, and learning to do all sorts of things with my body. And I'd fall over and I'd be looking at the carpet and fuck it. And I'd trying to say something and I can't. And everyone else is coming over trying to tell me what it is I'm trying to say. And I go, fuck it. And it was such an amazing, freeing sensation for a Mormon boy to swear and go, fuck it. And now even my kids mutter it under their breath.
Hey, Greg, there's actually been some scientific research that swearing does actually allow you to withstand more pain. And it's actually, like, fully on scientifically proven that swearing is like a pain inhibitor.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I know some people that are in pain at the moment, so I'll tell them. Poor Gabi, we were in Salzburg, and she slipped over on the ice. We had, about 8 inches of snow, and she slipped over on some ice and ended up on a bum and broke her wrist. And so she's in a bit of pain, so I'll just remind her next time she can just have a good squaring session. Hey, yeah. But it's like, what is this reality? It's just a whole lot of rules to restrict and limit you. So let's change that. Let it go. Start creating your reality as the way it should be. Everywhere on 3. Let's just wipe it. Start again. Ready? So, get rid of the past, get rid of all the rules, get rid of all the stories that hold you limited to this reality and to not being able to be who and truly what you are. On 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Cool. I'll let you create your own realities.
I love that, Greg. I was driving along the other day, with this chapter in mind, and then I was tuning into things like when people retire, and the retirement age is going up over the next few years from it's gone from 60 to 65, and then it's going up to 70 before you can start getting your pension and blah, 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 blah. And I was sitting there going, I don't actually buy into that reality that I want to even get the pension. I'll receive it, sure, if it's a contribution. But it's and then I went, okay, so if I was looking at dying, and not to lock it in or anything, but what age would that be? And I was like, would that be 80? It was like, no. 90? No. 100? No. Okay. 110? Nope. 120? Nope. And I got all the way up to 150. And I went, that's interesting. And everything that, doesn't allow me to outcreate that, destroy and uncreate it all.
Yeah,
But it was really
absolutely.
interesting. Even to go to 150 is so outside of everybody's reality right now that is still buying into this retirement thingy at 70, that is panicking about having retirement pension at 70. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, we're still only not even halfway there at 70.
No. And if you look at a lot of people at 70, they're still quite able-bodied. And then you look at others that are 70 and they're already dead, but on their feet. So is that real or is it just a choice?
I see lots of dead people walking.
Yeah. Some of them I've massaged people at 30 who were older than I am.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I massaged a beautiful, beautiful man who lived in Northwood, and he was 92. He still had black hair, still had all his hair, had the most beautiful skin, and he would go out every morning and walk the farm. He wouldn't ride the tractor, he wouldn't ride the horses, he would walk it, and when it was lambing time, he would walk around and check the ewes and the lambs. And he was just a beautiful man. And I've got an ancestor, a great-great-grandfather, who was 111 when he died. So my great-grandmother was 96. My grandmother was 93. I know I got the ability to live as old as I want. I've got photos of...
she's 82 or 83 this year. She still rides horses, goes horse trekking and all sorts.
There you go.
She's just been traveling around the world last year. And I'm like, it's just not in my space to not give up at 70.
Yep. Yep.
I choose that for what?
Yeah, absolute. Usually because they're, sorry, they're living with an asshole, but...
Now you have to say it. Now I want to know what it is. I think I can hear it. Wait, hold on. Receiving.
No, they're dying to get out of something.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a couple that were celebrating 60 years of marriage. And he sat at one end of the hall. She sat at the other, like we were at a school dance. And there was all the family in between. They're getting drunk. And these two old people were sitting there scowling at each other. And the old lady saying, he's such a bastard. But happy celebrations. I put it on them for 60 years. Wow. Is that living? Is it even joyful? Oh my God. What a choice. What a reality. I choose something more.
So what would our people in our book club, what would y'all like to choose?
Yeah.
Like maybe put it in the chat and see what would you like to choose that maybe you haven't ever chosen before? What would your reality be like? Greg's talking about us tapping into our realities, right? Well, each of us have a different reality like we started off our conversation with. So what is that for you? What's true for you, and what would you like to choose that you haven't chosen? You can list one thing, you could not list anything at all and just think about it. But if you want to kind of pop it in the chat and list a couple things that you would like to choose that you've never chosen before, I'm really curious.
And it's...
Oh, Zuma, I don't believe that.
Who said that?
My mother, Sulma.
Joy, she's not choosing that already. That's a foreign concept.
But you know what? It's more of that. It's more of that because after SOP, things have changed so much that I would like more and more of that. And joy is with everything, with sex, with money, with traveling, joy everywhere.
Yeah.
So I want more of that. Oh, I'm going to go to foundation.
Good girl. Okay, I have a question for you. How many of you do sex out of habit?
6 of what?
How many of you do sex out of habit or obligation?
Mm.
I used to
Mm.
before I got into a creationship. I
Yeah.
used to. Mm.
And what would it take to just be totally willing to change your reality, to be totally present at every moment of every day with your body, and then when you are with another body, to allow your body to be totally present with that body,
Mhm.
and then you watch realities change. It's magical, and then you start to feel the movement between the bodies, the energy, the motion, the flow, and then if you allow it, you actually start to feel the body's energies move and flow with the planet, and then you start to feel it. You become so expansive.
Oh, what a beautiful invitation. Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome. Again,
Wow.
it's that. It's these distractor implants. They're designed to distract you from this awareness, to take you away from your bodies, to take you away from what it is you really know, what it is your body is trying to show you. Before the Western society bastardized Tantra, that's what Tantra was truly about. It wasn't about how many positions you could get into before you find the orgasm. It's about the energy and the flow of that union between two people and their bodies and the universe. But we've lost all that because we allow ourselves to get distracted with pornography and all the other crap, and just we don't teach each other, we don't talk to each other. This is what I'd really enjoy. This is what I'd like. This is that flow. This is that motion between the molecules, between the people. And when you can truly, next time you're making love to your partner, whoever, whatever it is, make them look at you in the eyes, and just totally lock on their eyes and look at them and watch them and just pull energy through their body, through their eyes, to you, and through your body back into their body. And watch and perceive what happens to your body and their body at the same time. It changes. And then you start to become aware of so much more around you.
Even just you describing that, I'm like getting orgasmic. Like it's
Yeah.
just all of a sudden you just start undulating. Like it's doing good things. There's
Yeah.
I'm taking notes.
But it's all that. I mean, when was the last time you walked into a field where the blue sky, well, in New Zealand, yeah, there's blue sky in New Zealand, and just feel the sun on your body and allow that energy to come into the molecules and the cells of your body, and so that it grew, and then allowed that energy to flow through you into the earth and pull energy from the earth, from under your feet, back up through and feed it to the sun. And you want to, I tell you can lie in the grass and your whole body's orgasming, and you're going, oh, this is so cool. And it's just, and it's such a different space. And you're totally connected to everything. And there's an awareness. And then you start walking, and then you hear the birds and the animals, and they're all talking to you in a way that you now can communicate with them and enjoy them.
Mm-hmm.
The land talks to you, and it's the awareness that we always had until, basically, for me, the church, the original, way back before Catholicism, before everybody else, because it only repeats of an old story for many, many cycles. Before that, changed us and took us away from who we know we are. And if you feel your bodies know, the cells know, the molecules know, the atoms, the electrons within the atoms all know. and they've been quietly whispering to you all your life since you're conceived that you know. I love the shit. And you can bring it right back to the body. You can bring it back to where we make ourselves wrong. We can bring it back to where we do something to make ourselves wrong. We can bring it back to where we're making ourselves wrong for making ourselves wrong. Just to distract us and so we don't have to look at what it is we really know, what it is we really perceive, what it is we really feel. And it's that, and I mean, I'm sorry, I still fuck up on all this stuff too, you know. And every day I wake up and I choose to be more of this. And every day I wake up and I say, okay, so what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be today to have more awareness of everything around me than I did yesterday? And everything that doesn't allow me to do that, I just try and uncreate. And I really have to consciously ask every day. And I'm still working on that one. But I love it because what happens is I get so much more. Yeah. So that the clearing is lovely. I love it. I've actually got to highlight it to read to everybody so that we don't miss out on it. But I haven't got there yet. Dear. Let's see if I can find it for you all.
You know what? It's on page 146. And what I was thinking when I'm listening to you is like if we don't have any distractor implants, we can get to that place and much more.
Yeah, absolute.
There were no. Keep going.
Yep. That's what Gary was. There was a lady, some participant was talking to him about stuff. Why are we talking about the bad things? Why can't we talk about the good things? And Gary says, well, we want to get rid of the bad shit so that we can actually, all good things happen automatically. So it's about getting these distractors, getting rid of them so that there's room and space and where the energy to receive more of what it is that we then recognize as nice, fun, joyful, creative, and generative for ourselves. So, I read this to you first. We can create and we can destroy. Destruction is not such a bad thing. The problem is that we keep saying destruction is bad. Destruction is just change in which two things come together in a particular order in such a violent, eruptive, catalytic way that a new substance begins to exist. And destruction is not the same as the wrongness. Wrongness is stagnant. Destruction is animation. And Gary goes, wrongness is how we try to stay stagnant. And it's true. What physical actualization of the generative, creative capacities for freedom from all distractor implants are you now capable of generating, creating, and instituting? Everything that does not allow that to occur times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC and POD, all nine boys, shorts, and beyonds. I'm going to read that again if that's okay. What physical actualization of the generative, creative capacities for freedom. Freedom from all distractor implants are you now capable of generating, creating, and instituting? Everything that does not allow that to occur times a gazillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC and POD, all nine boys, shorts, and beyonds. Yeah, thank you for typing it. Half the people probably had, what the fuck did he just say? And it's true. I have no idea sometimes. I listen to a recording and go, what did I say? Oh my God.
I was just thinking you're tapping into that insane mind, that non-cognitive space. So it's a good sign if they can't really hear you.
Yeah.
It's like wah, 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 wah,
wah. Wah, wah. Yeah. Yeah, absolute. And I love it. I watch people sometimes in classes and they go, Gary, I can't understand you. What did you just say? Can you say it again slowly? And he says it really slow and they're still can't hear the words.
Yep.
But you know that the body got it, and it's like, cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, really, that for me is the crux of that whole chapter. It's just, what are you choosing? You know, because then he goes on to talk about anger and how we choose it, and yeah. When you get out of distracted implants, you stop trying to get people to see your point of view. You start letting people see where they are and to be the elements they are willing to be. You don't have to have any projections or expectations of them. But as long as you are doing distracted implants, you tend to do projections, expectations of others.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if we just let go? Total allowance, total vulnerability, total willingness to trust that they're going to be who they are, whether that's an arsehole, a CCFP, or a nice person, and just be willing to just demand that they honor you
Mm.
and that you honor yourself.
Could you speak more about that? Because I was going to bring up what they talk about with caring, how we've had this really skewed points of views that we've been told about what caring actually is. But and then you talked about then that. So I'm like, what's that interconnection there of actually demanding of someone to honor you and honor yourself? That juxtaposition.
Yeah. So for me, there's 5 elements of intimacy that Gary talks about and Dane talks about. Caring really puts you're not on the list. You're running around looking after everybody else to show that you care, that you love them, but you don't love yourself.
Mm.
Now, with the 5 elements of intimacy, the first person you have to be intimate with is yourself. Because otherwise you can't receive gratitude for somebody if you're not grateful for yourself. Because as soon as somebody goes, oh my God, I'm so grateful for what you did, you go, yeah, right, what do you want? If you're not honoring and loving yourself, if you're not willing to be vulnerable, then you can't see things that are coming at you. And so it's about that first. And those are amazing tools. And what that does, it gets the distraction of caring for everybody out of the way. Because when you can totally be an allowance to somebody without being a doormat, and then total allowance of your choices as well, when you can demand that they honor you and you honor them and you honor yourself, which means that, I'm sorry, that behavior doesn't work with me. You either do that somewhere else or stop it. Don't talk to me like I'm a piece of shit. You go somewhere else with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's honoring you, but it's honoring them by telling them that's not acceptable. There's so much more.
Yeah.
And it's that. And we think that, oh, I care for you. It's such a lie. It's not real. Hey, thank you, Wendy. Yeah. So, yeah, enjoy. So it's all of this stuff. What are you willing to be? And as you get rid of the distractions and the distractor implants, especially the anger, the rage, the fury, the hate, the shame, the blame, the guilt, the blah, 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 then what happens is you start to function from a totally different space.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to, you actually start to move more. There's a flow that is able to be within not only your body. I mean, I've got photos just show me from 4 years ago, and I look like a dying man. I look old, and I'm old, but I look older than I did now. I look, it's like I show people here in Europe, and they go, "That's not you." When I showed Gabi the photo, he said, "Why are you showing me this photo of this old man?" And I said, that's me. She said, no way that's you. Because if that was you, when I met you, I wouldn't even looked at you. And it's just totally true, you know. But it's that. Once you let go, things change in your body. Things start to change with how you are. And, you know, even the limitations, you become more flexible. You because with the limitations that create in our minds are reflected by our body. If you've got a dry and unbending mind, your body becomes dry and unbending, arthritic, joints get stiff. So what would happen to choose the changes, to let go of these things that are holding us locked, these limitations? And that's what I see these distractors as, limitations. And let them all go. Let go of the stories where we judge ourselves and hold ourselves locked in those things of wrongness, and the body will thrive. Your families thrive. Your businesses thrive. There's more joy in the universe. And the universe goes, oh, you like joy? Well, here's some more. And it just becomes more magical.
So Gitu?
Yeah, Gitu's got a question for you.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. My question is like, sometimes you want to make the choice and you already make the choice, but then again, you're kind of contemplating and you're doubting, should I, shouldn't I? Like this happens to me so many times, and then I have to kick myself, and I'm still kicking myself.
So, Gitu, you know the 10-second rule? Sometimes
I didn't
we
get
use
you, sorry?
the 10-second increments.
Yes.
Sometimes we use that as an excuse to get out of what it is we really chose, because choosing would mean change that would make us uncomfortable.
But the funny part is when I do the 10 seconds, and then 10 second, I'm like, yes, go for it. The next 10 second, I'm no, don't go for it. Then the next 10 seconds, I'm go for it. So what the fuck should I do finally?
Listen to your first impression, because that was your body saying, and the rest of it's your mind.
Oh, but by the time I finish a couple of times, I even forget the first answer what it was.
Yeah, write it down, honey. Write it down. But it is the first is fleeting, it's instant, and you know. And then after that, it's your mind that kicks in. And go, oh well. That's your mind. Forget it.
Okay.
It's that first awareness, that first knowing.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
True.
Yeah.
Every time. And what happens is you see the mind goes, oh, if we do that, it's going to create change. If we have change, I don't know, that could get uncomfortable. That could get really heavy.
More than change, probably you kind of contemplate the pros and the cons of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still change. And something happens, and we've got to create something different that's outside the normal. Because what are we asking for? If we're asking for change in our lives, but we don't want anything to change, what are we actually asking for? We're actually asking for the same shit we've had all our lives.
Right.
To create change where things move and create differently, there has to be something changed.
Mm-hmm.
Whether there's more that comes into your universe, or you let go some of the old limitations.
Okay.
And the mind doesn't like change.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Feels light. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was such a simple thing and yet so huge, Greg. Like
huge, right.
this whole, like, the mind doesn't like change. Like, I'm sure probably someone has told me that, but I'm so hearing it now. Like, the body change. Oh, it's, you basically are giving the body orders from off a menu, and it's just going with whatever you've been told to do with your points of views. And it's like, oh, and the thinking is stinking. Okay, I got that, but not the whole. Thinking is stinking because the mind doesn't like change, and we are change agents. Like, we're like that whole constant mobility. Like, that's as soon as we stop, we're dying.
Yep.
Like that just all came together right now.
Absolute. Now,
Can I say one thing?
Sorry, just 1 second.
Yes.
We're told to lose the mind. Now, the mind is a fantastic tool, but it's a really bad master. So it's about acknowledging, okay, that's what the mind is thinking, perceiving, thinking and working out. But I know because of awareness that this is what I need to do next. Because if I'd stuck in my mind, I'd still be sitting somewhere in New Zealand feeling very sorry for myself. But my instant awareness when Gabi said, would you come to Vienna, was yes. And my whole universe went boom. And then she said, when? And it went boom, and boom, boom, boom. And it's still expanding out.
Yeah.
That's that instant first knowing. And then after that, we tend to head fuck ourselves and try to make ourselves wrong and try to back out. That's the mind kicking in, and we make ourselves wrong. If we stuck with our first knowing, watch what happens. And then you start, and then the body comes up with another, you have another awareness. Wow, actually, if I hadn't chosen that, I wouldn't have seen these other possibilities. Sometimes we actually have to take that first step on the journey. There's a man called Paulo Coelho. He wrote the Alchemist books,
Yes.
and among others. And I was watching a documentary with him. He says the universe, we ask the universe for something, and we have to take the first step. But once we take that first step towards the thing we're asking for, requesting, the universe conspires for you to get that request. Sir Edmund Hillary, a Kiwi, living down in Christchurch somewhere, decided he wanted to climb mountains. So what did he do? He bought a rope and gear and he started climbing the mountains around New Zealand. They got to the point where he'd done them all. So what does he do? He climbs higher mountains until he climbed the highest one on the planet. But it all started with the first step up one hill to see what was behind it. Are we willing to start walking up the hill so we can see what's at the top of the mountain?
Ooh. Ooh.
So, everywhere you don't want to enjoy the view because it means you have to move and you have to work and you have to choose something, like take a step, destroy and uncreate.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC and POD, all 9 boys, shorts and beyonds.
So, can I add something on the same lines?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's brilliant what you said, like stick to your first knowing. That was really lovely. But when you say like every 10-second increments, you can keep changing your choice. So that's again, like if your first knowing is your first knowing, why would you want to change choices in the 10-second increments?
This is where things get twisted and we really misinterpret this 10-second shit.
Right.
Okay. In 10 seconds time, is it working for you? Yes, keep going. No? Okay, change. 10 seconds later, is it working for you? Yes, cool, keep going. 10 seconds later, is it working for you? Yes, keep going. 10 seconds later, is it working for you? No. Okay, so what else is possible here? It doesn't mean you change your mind all the time. I have a dear friend who is a facilitator and worldwide. And she says, Gary, I'm having trouble keeping my staff because they get pissed off with me. I'm changing things, I'm creating, I'm changing things. He says, yeah, but why are you changing them? She says, well, the 10-second thing would create this and then we change something. And he says, yeah, all you're doing is creating confusion. He said, why are you changing the things that work?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing was, sorry.
The 10-second increment is to let you know that if it isn't working, you can change your mind. You don't have to stick with doing a Bachelor of Arts degree when you really want to do computer science.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. And the other thing is, like, when we're talking about distractor implants, the major distractor implant that I go through is the self-doubt. Typical humanoid, I guess.
No, not get to. No way. You don't doubt yourself, do you?
No, I don't.
You-
Hell
you-
no.
If you did that, you'd be labeled as a humanoid.
Okay, so that doubt is like really
Yeah.
kills me. I mean,
Okay, it's like when you go to the gym and you want to build nice tight ass. What do? You exercise it. You exercise it. You do all the exercises that make those butt muscles clench up. Yeah? And you clench and you clench and you move and you wriggle and you got this nice firm butt. It's the same thing with getting rid of self-doubt about choices and decisions that you make. You have to practice. Do the small things. Body, what would you like to eat today? Are you hungry even today? No? Okay, would you like something to drink? Yes, cool, right, do. And then just learning and practicing until it's instant. I can go into a shop and go, okay, I need this, this, and this. And what other? I don't know, but my body wants them. I can go into a cafe and go, no, my body doesn't want to eat any food that's in here, and leave. I can go to another place and go, oh my God, yes, please. I go to restaurants here in Germany, and the menus are in German. They offer me an English one. No, I'm happy with German. And I'll go through it, and I'll go, body, what do you want? And then just go down through that one. Every time. Not once have I been unhappy with what I chose.
Wow.
The times that I've used my mind and gone, what is this? Oh, I'll pick that one. It's nice, but not what my body wanted. It's that practicing and knowing when the mind is stepping in, but when the body is saying this, just do this one.
Wow. Beautiful. I'd like to duplicate that.
Yeah, then just choose it. Truly, choose it and practice it every day. Wake up in the morning, body, are you hungry? No? Okay, cool. Body, would you like a drink? No? Okay, cool. Let's get doing something. What would you like to do? Oh my God, sleeping? Okay. Yeah. But ask, and you'll be amazed at what you actually start to become aware of. When you get rid of these other distractions, all this shit.
Absolutely. So, Greg, my dear,
It's
so
time to
many
go
gems
home.
here. There's so many gems. You've totally contributed to me tapping into what's true for me and my reality. So I want to thank you individually, personally, and then also on behalf of me and Laureen and the book club. This was such an amazing call. I cried, I laughed. I'll probably cry and laugh some more when I listen to the replay. Just all the components of acknowledgement and increased awareness with ease. And you're just such an invitation to a different possibility. Thank you for being on this call for us, for saying yes to our invitation. For
A huge pleasure.
Us.
Thank you. I'm sorry I tend to waffle a little bit. I get all passionate and a bit excited, but
no apologies necessary. We adore you. Keep being the magic that you be in the world. If people would like to connect with you after our call, what would be a good way for them to do that?
The best way is on Facebook. It's probably the one thing that I check the most, and that's just Greg Bryers on Facebook. Greg Bryers 9, I think I am. But just look, there's a photo of me, I think.
And they'll also have that link then. We'll make sure to put that in the replay link.
Yeah,
so they'll have the link right to your wall. Do you have any upcoming events that you'd like to talk about? Any groups that I know you have a bunch of classes that you're constantly facilitating. Are there any special programs or projects that are going on?
At the moment, no. We're just creating classes and all around Europe here with the Alchemy of the Body classes that I'm doing and creating. I'd love to bring one down under sometime and even to the States, but the way we function with it is when there's somebody that's interested and invites us, we look at it and go, okay, yes, that feels light. Let's see what we can create. Gabi and I have also got this other one, the magic of letting go, which is about letting go of the stories of the past, and that hold you locked. I'm abused, so I can't do this because I'm a victim and blah blah blah. When you let that go, oh my God, we've seen so many people just when they let that shit go.
And is that a live class or is that an online event?
Live classes.
Okay.
We've done a couple online now.
Okay.
In fact, we've done live and we've just had a Zoom going for the class, and that worked really well. If
Okay,
people
cool. So
are,
there's some flexibility and options with that.
oh,
I wonder
absolutely,
what people would choose.
yeah,
The
yeah.
alchemy classes, the magic of letting go, a bunch of your foundation classes, are they all listed on your Access website?
Only the access classes are. The alchemy used to be an access specialty class, and then they decided that I was because I was teaching a little bit more of what I am, that I need to take no longer a specialty class, which is
Okay.
kind of a shame because
So
but
is
it's
it
free.
on your
It's free.
website
The
then, the
classes.
alchemy
Yes,
class? It's on
yes,
your
they're
website.
on the website, or they can email me. The other one is alchemyofthebody.eu, and
Okay.
and yeah. So,
Cool.
but yeah, I mean, just Facebook me, and that's all there.
I'm
So.
going to get all those links from you, right, Greg?
Yep.
Yeah, like
I
right
was
after
sending
this
it to.
call, right, honey? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
boss.
So that everyone could benefit from them and everyone can continue to connect with you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And then, Laureen, we have Patina next, correct? On our next call?
Patina Edwards. Ooh.
I have to tell you that Patina facilitated me in a foundation class. Sorry about the finger. And it was, second or third foundation class. And her facilitation is what kicked me into gear and changed my whole universe.
Wow.
Okay,
What a brilliant
she's a phenomenal facilitator, magical, and comes from a space that it just I adore the lady, and I'm so grateful for her. We're actually sort of like cousins too, so we're chops.
We're ending all the book club with all these Kiwis.
Yeah,
I know.
cool.
It was not planned, y'all. It was not like as much as Laureen is a Kiwi. We just asked folk, and then they chose the chapters, and ended up being like pow 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 Kiwi time, like at the end.
Yep. Down under, bringing up the Italian.
So what's the time for Patina?
Cool. So that would be call number 12. It'll be on the 21st of February or the 20th if you're in America. So the 21st of February, which is a Wednesday at 11 a.m. Brisbane time, and it is the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
And it's on chapter 6, which is fear, doubt, business, and relationships. So Gitu, since you are getting over all this doubt, you're going to be on the call, right, honey?
Yeah. That would be a
call down if we don't get you on, if we don't see you on the call.
Oh, when is it, by the way? I'm not sure.
The 20th or the 21st, depending on where you are.
And
Okay.
you'll see that on the replay link. There'll be a time link per usual.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you everyone so much for being on the call. Freaking phenomenal. We look forward to seeing you again. Please, please, please read the next chapter. Read this one again and read the next one to get ready for Patina.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Rocket is amazing.
Come to visit as well. Thank you.
Say that last part again, Lori.
I said thank you to our beautiful CFs who have popped in to visit us on this particular call. So we've had Henry and Michelle, and I know Deborah was before. Yeah, so grateful for that you guys pop in and contribute your guys' energy too. I'm super grateful.
Everyone
that you guys be having each other's back. So grateful. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, good night. I'm going to bed.